What is up, everybody? I know it's been a long time. I've been working on some stuff. I've gotten my area together. You don't see the green screen anymore. I'm still working on it. It's going to be improved. You can tell that my monitor's in a new place. I have my camera up there, and it's real hard to not look at the screen and look at the camera. But today, I want to do something a little new, a new segment. And I know what you're thinking, like, how many new segments is this guy gonna do and stick with it? The anime block is not dead. We're coming back to that. Anime reviews are mid-season reviews are coming back. Don't know how I'm gonna do the D&D stuff, but we're gonna get that done. We're gonna do that. That just might take a little bit more time. But right now, we are going to focus on the anime and anime reviews and this new segment, podcast. D&D related, maybe not even always D&D related. I love a good podcast. Driving to work, at the gym, cooking dinner, you name it, I got the podcast playing. But right now, I want to talk about a podcast that I am in love with. From the first episode, I just fell in love with it. It is none other than Power Word Fail. And I'm going to do this in one take. I don't care how many times I mess up or how many times I have to stop. This is going to be a one take, no code intro. That's it. But Power Word Fail is a D&D actual live play podcast. And I just recently started hearing that word, live play. And I guess that's when people play live and record it. But they are a brother-sister company of another podcast channel that I listen to called TheHomebrew. TheHomebrew is a sci-fi D&D adventure podcast. We won't get into that. We'll do some, I don't know if we're going to do a review or anything on that because it is 115 episodes long. They just had their season finale. Shout out to the Homebrew. Whoop whoop. But we are Power Word Fail. It has my heart. I love that podcast. So I just want to, I don't know if this is going to be a review or a reaction because I've already listened to a bunch of this and I'm going back and re-listening to it. And I was just like, hey, I want to talk about this thing that I enjoy. And so I'm just going to do that. So I don't know how to do these things. I just kind of had the idea and I was like, let's hit the metal while it's hot. But no more of the introduction. Power Word Fail starts out with session 0. And I love a session 0. That's when you get to know the players. That's when you get to know the world. The DM gets to describe DM, GM, whatever you want to call it. They get to like talk about themselves. The players get to talk about themselves and their characters. So always do a session 0. If your DM doesn't do a session 0, maybe talk to them about it. But session 0 starts out. Carlos is the DM for Power Word Fail. And he introduces himself. He tells you where to find them. And I'm not going to go into detail where to find these people or whatever. I will say, the Homebrew has a Discord channel. And everybody in every podcast is pretty active in that Discord channel. If you want to get to know these people, jump in that Discord channel and talk to them. They are very friendly people. But session 0. Off the dome, cold takes. We got Carlos. He's the DM. Love Carlos. This guy he gives that personality of that friendly guy that he's never met somebody that's not friends with him. He just has that friendly energy where it's just like, I would hate to see that guy upset, but I don't believe that he ever does get upset. Carlos. Next up we have Austin. Austin plays a character. He is a bard who plays for Grave. He's a grave singer bard, but he is a Celt, I think. I'm pronouncing that right. There's going to be a lot of See, there we go. There's gonna be a lot of mispronunciations in here, but he is a bard. He is a satyr kind of spin-off type thing. He looks like an owl bear, but anorexic. Sorry. As best I can do, Austin. If you ever listen to this, I apologize. Maybe if you join the Discord, I think he has pictures up. But anyway, we got Austin. We got Tyrell. Now, Tyrell, man, everybody on this podcast and in the homebrew is a good voice actor. They're good role players. But Tyrell, there's something every time I hear this man, except one character. One character he did, I was like, come on, man, you could do better than that. But he just can pull out of a voice. He can pull a voice out of nowhere. He plays Frog Emperor Spunk, the Cleric's hero or something like that. He plays a grung, 2 feet tall creature. He is obsessed with finding heroes to help him defeat the evil. The voice he puts on for Spunk is amazing. If you hear his normal talking voice and then hear Spunk and then hear some of the other voices he does, you're like, how do these people do this? They just wake up in the morning like, hello, just like, let's do it. But he's awesome. We got Nathan. Nathan is DM in another podcast that's also on the homebrew. It's called the Kaleidosphere, but now it will be Insanity Damage, I think. It is also a good podcast. I want to do a review on that, but there's a lot of information dumping in that, and it's hard to keep up with sometimes. But still a great podcast. Nathan plays Miroz the Magnificent, the world's best wizard. He is very, I don't want to say eccentric, but he is a very different character. You get the feeling that he's hiding something right off the bat. But Miroz is awesome. Nathan is actually, again, for the homebrew. This just sounds like a homebrew publicity stunt right now, but the homebrew just came out with their very own game called Mythcraft, and Nathan and the creator of the homebrew, Grant Milky, basically put this together. I mean, there was a whole team of people, but I'm not going to go through that. But Nathan is a really smart guy. He comes up with a lot of stuff. He is a great DM. Give him a look up. Go talk to him in the Discord. Then we got Katie. Love Katie. Man, she plays this. And I'm not throwing the classes in there because I'm not every class because I'm going to forget them. Because some of them play like cross classes or something. And it's just like whatever. But Katie, I think, is a wizard. She has a familiar named Poppet. It's like a demon cat, but it's pretty, and she presses. She's all prissied up and stuff. And Poppet's just like, Carlos does the voice of Poppet. He does a really good job with voices. Carlos does really good job with voices too. I know I said Tyrell does good jobs with voices, but Carlos does really good job with voices. But she has this cat named Poppet. Apparently she made a deal with somebody named the Prince. We'll get into that later. But Katie is pretty awesome. She's very good at role play. There's a couple of scenes that I'm just like, how did you hold that together, Katie? She's really good. We have I'm not gonna lie, my favorite, Andi. Andi plays a goblin barbarian. A goblin barbarian named Pkelz. She's a rune knight. See, she's my favorite, so I know a lot about Pkelz. She's a rune knight. She was raised by Goliaths, I think. But I love Andi. She plays like this. I don't know. I think she's from like New York or something, but she just has this accent with, I don't know if she does it with Pkelz or is she there with like if she's from that place. I'm not good at placing accents, but it just kind of gives me a real New York vibe accent. And Pkelz just does not take shit from anybody. She will punch you in the face for talking sideways to her. Love Pkelz. Pkelz is my favorite character. Next to Spunk. I do love me a good Spunk interaction because this guy's all about. I'm a goody two shoes player. I'm always going to play the hero. I'm always going to play the guy who wants to save everybody, and that's Spunk for me. That's Spunk. He all day, every day. But anyway, so Pickle plays. Andi plays Pickle, and by far, if you don't like Pkelz, we can fight about it. You can't change my mind. She's the best character on the show. Anyway, next up we have Ambrose. That's his character's name. His name is Ian. Ian plays Ambrose, and Ambrose is a real interesting character. He is from a very prestigious family, and it takes a minute for we're not going to get into that, but Ian does a really good job with Ambrose. I feel like he knew how he wanted to play him from the beginning, and he did a good job to sticking to that. No matter how much you shouted at him in the Discord, he was like, "Hey, I know how I'm going to play my character, and that's how I'm going to play him." Ambrose is I like Ambrose. So, Session 0, you learn about these characters. You learn about the world, blah blah blah. You learn about Carlos. And then we get into the actual campaign, episode 1. So I'm going to go over what happened in episode 1. Episode 1, I like to call them heroes, but everybody in the Discord calls them failures. Everybody calls them failures. In my eyes, they're heroes because I like watching them. They try to save the day. They try to save people. And that's what heroes do. They try to save people. Sometimes they're not successful. Sometimes they mess up. But they wake up in this dungeon, and one of the things I hate doing as a DM is starting the campaign, because it's like, do you know each other? Do you not know each other? But there are 6 players. They are in pairs, so 2 people know each other. Miroz and Pkelz know each other. Ambrose and Evangeline know each other. Spunk and Fyrric know each other. I can't help but say Fyrric, like Fyrric says his name. So they wake up in this dungeon prison, and they're like, how do we get here? They hear everybody's talking. It's not a lot of light. Eventually, Fyrric gets tired of this, and he casts Knock to open the prison cells. They found out they're shackled. They break out of the shackles. Pkelz, you find out, is real impatient. Fyrric just kind of doesn't really care. It's like, hey, let's get out of here. Let's leave. Spunk and Fyrric are just kind of like talking, and you find out Evangeline just kind of like one of those dainty, like, oh, don't get me dirty. And Ambrose is kind of like at her, I wouldn't say beck and call, but he is like, I'm gonna take care of her. You get that vibe from him. Spunk immediately goes, I can make these people into heroes. But doesn't seem like they really care about that. So they leave the jail cell. They find themselves in a forest. They kind of wander around for a few seconds. They run into a fox named Phineas. And Phineas the fox is kind of instructing them on what to do and where to go. Not really, like, just kind of like, Fox is kind of shady about whatever. They travel down this road, and they run into a bear. Bear's trapped in a bear trap. Go figure. They set the bear free. The bear thanks them. Spunk kills it. And I am skipping over a lot of stuff since this is like the first one. I don't want to be too terribly long. But they're trying to figure out how did they get here, like just anything. And they're talking to each other. And then the road ends. And all this time, Phineas the Fox is following them. Just kind of like giving offhand commentary like a sly fox would do. They get to the road end, and they just like, oh, well, the road goes this way, but there's no more road. And then they look down, and they see clouds. So it's like they're in the sky. Eventually, they're like trying to figure out what to do. Fyrric asks Pkelz for rope. He ties ropes to himself. and he jumps off. Nothing happens. They pull him back up. Eventually, they start like fighting and arguing amongst themselves. Not fighting, disagreeing, arguing, like what to do and how to do it. Pkelz gets fed up. She jumps off the cliff. Some reason, some way or another, she's like, I'm going to jump off the cliff. They find out that there is a hidden passageway, kind of like an invisible passageway. They eventually all jump down and they wake up. Apparently, this guy drugged them in a bar and offered them a job. And if they passed, they would get 100 gold pieces apiece. But he didn't really ask them. He just kind of kidnapped them. It was kind of a little unclear on that. But they took the job. And then the guy was like, well, now we have to like prove, you like proved your wits. Now let's prove your strength. So he sets off, and that's kind of where the end of the first episode goes. I very much, like I said, I like Spunk. Spunk is all about heroes and saving the day, building up heroes. I'm all for that. Fyrric, he is I just call him an owl bear, a flying owl bear, but he doesn't have wings. He's an owl. He's more owl than bear, but he burned his wings. So you get the feeling that he's a bit of a coward, but I love Fyrric because something about just his aesthetic of like, he almost feels like a goth bard. Yeah, very, very gothic bard. And then Evangeline, you get the prissy, like, I don't want to call her a warlock, but like a wizard, because I'm very, very sorry, guys. If you watch this, I'm sorry about not knowing your classes and all that stuff, but I'm trying. I'll take better notes next time. But you get, she just kind of like, she's going on. You're not really certain what she's looking for. She talks about this guy named the Prince for a while. She drops that. It's a bit of a mystery there. What's going on there? And then Ambrose, like I said, it starting out, it seems like he's just like all about Evangeline. What can I do for Evangeline? He is a good character. He's a good role player, but I need a little bit more of Ambrose. I need more time to shine from Ambrose. And then Pkelz and Miroz, like Miroz, you get this shady vibe from him because he went off to go do something in the woods. Nobody knows what he did, except Evangeline. I'm telling you something about Katie. Katie's characters in any game she play is gonna have a high passive perception. She's gonna see whatever you gonna do when you do it. So don't ever try to get one past Katie. She's gonna see it. So she always catches whatever happens in the background. And then Pkelz, she really doesn't talk about herself. I do hate where people have like tragic backstories and they're not supposed to talk about it. They're like, I don't want to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, let me tell you about my family. It's like, oh, I mean, I think that comes with time, is learning how to drop little eggshells and little, just kind of like little nuggets. But I don't know if this is just Pkelz not caring about talking about herself, or Andi doing a real good job of just kind of dropping little nuggets of nothing and then something and then nothing. But I really like the you get a little bit of lore here. I'll sprinkle some lore over there, and then I'll sprinkle some backstory over there. So I really do appreciate that she wasn't just immediate like, my family abandoned me at a young age, which that's not her backstory at all. But so far, again, I'm like caught up on the most recent episode. I think the most recent episode of Power Word Fell is blur 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 blur. There are 49 episodes plus episode 0, so that makes it 50. So I'm on episode 49, and we're going to try to do a review, reaction, commentary every day till we catch up. So we will probably be caught up in about 60 days if I can stick to this. But check out Power Word Fail. Let's do this. I want to grade the episodes. All right, I want to grade the episodes, and I want to just kind of do each episode like that. So I'm gonna put session 0. I want to grade it like this though. Session 0 for me gets 10 hit dice out of 10. Full 10 hit dice out of 10. I love session 0. That is how you do a session 0. If you're a DM trying to figure out how to do a session 0, listen to this session 0. They did a really good job. Episode 1, there was no combat, which that's not a bad thing. I'm just kind of stating what kind of happened. There was a lot of getting to know each other. I say a lot of getting to know each other, but there was just kind of like a lot of like, let's figure out how to play with each other. Carlos, I mean, right out the gate, you got they did expert role play, expert voice acting. Only gripe I have in episode 1 is I need more Ambrose. There wasn't enough Ambrose. So I will give episode 1 8 hit dice out of 10. It was a good episode. It was a really good episode. I had to struggle to find something there, but I do remember thinking, man, I need more Ambrose. It seemed like everybody had their time to shine. Everybody got to talk, and then you get to Ambrose, and he kind of didn't talk too much. Maybe he's new. Maybe he's just trying to find his footing, see where he fits in. But come on, Ian. Use that voice. I know you got it. But if you guys have any comments, if you guys want to know, if you guys got any advice on how to do whatever I'm doing, commentary, reviews, notes, whatever, drop it. If you want to see something else, let me know. But as right now, we're going to be doing Power Word Fail. Highly recommend. Go watch. Go listen. Put it up on the TV. You got a Google Chromecast or Spotify, put it up on TV. Go listen to Power Word Fail. Even if you don't like D&D, it is a great time. It is a great time. Great story. All right. Oh, and the most important part about Power Word Fail, Carlos, the end of every episode. Hopefully I don't mess this up. But at the end of every episode, Carlos tells you, you matter, you're important, and you are loved. And every time I hear that, I'm like, yo, that him saying that has gotten me through some days. So I have to start saying that. I mean, if that's copyrighted, I'm sorry, Carlos. I'm about to shed a tear. So just remember, you matter, you're important, and you are loved. Y'all have a nice day.